All right, so you can see that I have 3 cabinets here. They are all from the Generic.cvc catalog, and to prove that, we can go to Properties, and you can see we have the Options tab. I can go here and I have a bunch of options that I can select from, and this is where you can put all of the options that the user needs to select, and then they go ahead and select this. Now we need to get this in a report, obviously. So let's see, we'll cancel. If you look, I actually have some different options here. This one's a face frame construction. This one is frameless. I think this one also has, let's see if I go to elevation. Yeah, this one has the pulls, the C pulls. This one has knobs. So if we go to reports, report center, and set up reports, and we go to my report that I created here, and there you go. You can see that I've got the name of the cabinet, the options that are selected, and whatever the values are. So to do this, let's go ahead and go back to setup mode, and you'll see, if I make sure that my report's selected, I didn't give it a name. I'm going to go to Properties. Alright, you can see that I have a couple of imports. Okay, this pulls the option labels out of the generic.cvc. This gets the actual options that are available for selection. And here is the actual cabinet list with all of the information that you would normally get from the cabinets table, including, if we go all the way to the end, oops, a little too far, the option and the value. All right, so to get this, we will go ahead and close this, and we'll create a new report. We'll import the data. We will leave this as import. We'll leave the name alone, and we will change the source though. In my solid 9, I have a generic.cvc. Now we'll have to type in the name, because if you look here, well, actually, I was incorrect. I'm sorry. We can actually find our, we can change our filter here to the catalogs, and we can find the generic.cvc and hit open. Now you'll see it change the source to dbpath generic.cvc. We can now go here and find our option labels, and I'm going to change the name of this to my labels, and I'm just going to go ahead and select everything in the list and hit OK. And you'll see it created a new table in the report.mdb and imported all the information from the generic.cvc. Now let's go ahead and create another one. Do the same thing, catalogs, generic, and this time we're going to go to options. We're going to call this my options, and we're going to hit OK. Once again, it created a my options table. Now we want to make a table that has all of the catalog, or the cabinets, and the options. So to do this, instead of trying to figure out what the SQL is and write it myself, I'm going to use a program that I use a lot called FlySpeed SQL Query. Now, since I've already imported all the information that I need into the report.mdb, you can see I have a connection to the report.mdb right here. I'm going to go ahead and recreate it so you can see how it's done here. I just click the new connection button. I change it from MS SQL Server to MS Access. I leave the database version alone and hit next. Then I go to my c:/planet/solid_9_o/database/report.mdb. If you want to use your file browser to look for it, you can just click this ellipsis button here. If there was a password, we'd enter it here. There's not. If there is, that means the version of Cabinet Vision you're using is a little too low and you can't do this anyways. So we'll hit next. Sorry, not version, but product level. And we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call this V9 report connection because I already have a V9 report. So now that's all I'd have to do. I hit finish and it would put this in my connections list. But since I already have a connection, I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to expand the V9 reports and you'll see I have my labels, my options, and that's what I want. So I'm going to create a new query. I'm going to go to my cabinets because this is going to have all of my cabinets in it. I'm going to do the star item, which will bring all of the cabinet table information into my report. As a matter of fact, if I hit execute, you can see it's pretty much an exact copy of what cabinets I have. So from here, let's go back to the query, and I'm going to pull in, where is it? Stock cabinets. The reason we're using this, and you see it automatically created a link between the cabinets.cabinetid and cabinets.scabinetid. The reason we're doing this is because we only want to pull cabinets that are from a distributable catalog, or one that was like the Generic.cvc. If it's not a generic from the Generic.cvc or from a distributable catalog, also known as a stock cabinet catalog, it will not show up in our query anymore. So if I had put regular cabinets in there, they won't show up. The reason we do this is because we need to make sure that the query properly works every time. And now we can go to the options and pop this in here. All right, and we can connect scabinetid to cabinet ID. All right, so now we've made a link that not only does it have to be a stock cabinet, it has to have options as well. I guess we could drop the stock cabinets out of there and just connect it to options. So if it has options, it'll show up in the report. If not, it won't. Next, we go to my options, and we connect options.id to my options.optionid. And then we go to my labels. All right. Now here we want to go from my options.optionLabelID to my labels.id. So now we get all of the information linked properly. So now we have all of our cabinets. We're also going to add the mylabels.name, and we're going to give this an alias so that we can easily just see what it is. And we'll go option label. Then we will add the my options title, and we'll call this option value. Now in my old report, my old query, it just showed the label and value, but I'll just leave it like this to make that a little bit easier. Now I also need to go here. I need to go to room ID, wall ID, and cabinet ID. We don't want this information to show up on top of everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck the output column. All right, and we can get rid of the alias. It'll give us an error telling us that, well, you know, now you have stuff of the same name, but that's okay. So what we want to do though is we want to change the sort type to ascending, ascending, and ascending. Now we can change the sort order here. This has to do with how FlySpeed SQL does stuff. But the reason we put it in the order we did, that will make sure that it orders and sets the sort order correctly. And I believe that should be it. So when I execute the query now, you see I've got more than 3 records. The first time, when I just pulled all the cabinet information in, I had 3 records. Now I have a bunch. And that's because each cabinet, you'll see here, cabinet 1 has several options that have been selected. So it's going to show all of that information there. But this is what I need for the query. So I'm going to go to the query here, and I'm going to select all of this text and go Control-C on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to my cabinet vision. I'm going to click the Add Data from Another Source again, but this time I'm going to make it a link. I'm going to say, call it My Cabinets. We will put this here, and we're just going to hit OK. We're going to go to this SQL tab, and we're going to now, here is where we're going to paste the query that we made. We'll go to Data Preview, and there we go, just like we had in FlySpeed SQL. Now, the table isn't in the report yet, obviously, so we're going to create a new table. And from here, we're just going to go to My Cabinets, hit plus, and we're going to just select anything and hit Finish. That gave it the name and that value, and now we can go to SQL. We can change the select from myCabinets.assembly to star. We're going to hit Data Preview, and now we have that table in the report. We'll go to the report properties. We'll call this generic options, just for the heck of it. And we will click Close. Now the report designer is there, so I'll just quickly go through this. All right, I'll select Table for the report container and just hit OK. Now it's selected My Cabinets because it was the only table there, which is fine for demonstration purposes here. I'm now going to double click on this. I'm going to go to my group header, and I'm going to group by, let's see, myCabinets.cabinet ID. All right, and in this group header, I'm going to add a text field. I'm going to call it myCabinets.cabinet name. Okay, and I mean we could add some extra stuff here as well. So you see we could put that in there. We could also group by the room number. We could do all kinds of stuff that we want. I'm going to change the font real quick just to make this a little bit more, large. So we'll call this, make it bold, make it 22, okay. And we'll go here, make this 165.1. Now I use that because that's what I use for 1-inch spacing around. I can also select the report container, go to position, tell it here my left margin should be 25.4 and a width of 165.1, which for US letter paper gives me 1-inch margins all the way on both sides. So now from here I'll go back to My Cabinets. I will go back to my data line. All right, and this is where we're going to add 2 columns. We're going to add the myCabinets.option label. I'm also going to add a colon right there at the end. All right, I'm going to make this 45 millimeters in width. I'm also going to add the next one, which is going to be myCabinets.option value. I'll hit OK, and I'll make this 110.1. And then just for a little bit of a push to indent everything over, I'm going to go to the spacing and give it a 10 millimeter left spacing. I'm going to hit OK, save, close this, and then go to view mode. And there you go. You can see that it grabbed that information pretty easily and quickly. So that's how you can get that information in. So this is just literally a sample cabinet or a sample report. Hope this helps out to get you started on what you need.